Eleanor Roosevelt said, "You gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. You are able to say to yourself, I have lived through this horror. I can take the next thing that comes along. You must do the thing you think you cannot do." My life was one of adversity and triumph, and it was through this adversity that I found strength and endurance. I learned how to laugh at myself, and I learned that to worry was like a rocking chair. It was something to do, but it wasn't going to get you anywhere. People in life have many faces that they only show to certain people. I like to think that I kept it pretty real. People knew my priorities and they understood my values. They either loved or hated my sense of humor and my overwhelming and over-the-top passion sometimes. And despite my inability to tell dirty jokes here in heaven, I'm very happy to be home with Jesus. I've known myself since I was born. I was there through the ups and downs of childhood, and I held my own hand through the joys and heartbreaks of adult life. Kids, don't grow up. It's a trap. I've seen the transformation from a child to a wide-eyed, naive teenager, and then into the glorious stage of womanhood, which basically means lack of sleep, gray hair, and an overwhelming sense that you're always forgetting something. I have walked through every trial, every lesson, every adventure, and been a witness to the most intimate friendships of my life. I am her. So who else better to give such a speech? All of you are here today because, well, I had a special place in your hearts. I was a mother, a sister, a friend. But I hope you're here today not to mourn the loss of a loved one, but instead to rejoice in the knowledge that I've gone home. And now all your secrets are safe. Did my part, took them to the grave. I led an exciting and generous life dedicated to my family, my faith, and my love of adventure. One of the greatest adventures of my life, though, will always be motherhood. Motherhood was never my childhood dream. I didn't pick out kids' names when I was 7. I didn't have scrapbooks. But then God gave me 2 beautiful daughters, and it changed everything. While I may have been a non-traditional parent filled with sarcasm and many impromptu road trips, my ladies always knew how important they were to me. There was never a day that went by without I love yous. We all parent differently, so what makes me so different? Well, I made the choice at a young age to leave certain relationships in my life, which resulted in me becoming a single parent. My aspiration was to provide my daughters with the best chance at life possible. I changed all of my goals and made my children a priority. And in the beginning, I thought that just meant making money. So that's what I did. Then fast forward 3 years, and these 2 beautiful toddlers were strangers. So I changed my goals again. I walked away from a successful casino career to return to school. I embraced my own passions again in hopes that my girls would see me achieving my dreams and know that they could achieve theirs. Being a mother has challenged me to grow as a person. Anybody who can make it through potty training really deserves a medal. Pretty sure I blocked out most of the memories, but I know that they changed me. I would never have become the person I did without their influence. They helped me as much as I helped them. People often marveled at my sense of adventure and were mesmerized by my carefree attitude towards travel. Very few women that I know would have the courage to desire to pick up on a whim and drive across the state, let alone the country. This was normal to me. You only live once. Why not make the most of it? Despite the huge responsibilities I had at such a young age, I was always up for the next adventure. When I was 25, I received a job offer in Philadelphia. I thought about it for about 10 minutes, and then decided why not. Had I ever been to Philadelphia? No. Did I know anybody in Philadelphia? Absolutely not. But I didn't want to miss out on the opportunity, and that's a decision that I will never regret. I didn't stop at American adventures either. Oh no. When I returned to school to complete my college degree, I decided that I was going to make the most out of the experience. I'd always had a passion for travel, and I wasn't going to let any pressures or expectations keep me from those experiences. I knew that my children were strong, and that seeing me, their mom, be strong would only add to their strength. Seeing their mom travel to countries like China and Cuba was exciting for them, as well as it was for me, and I hoped that it ignited a passion in them, a new generation. I hope that I left many legacies for my children, the most important of which I'll save for last. FDR said that we cannot always build the future for our youth, but we can build our youth for the future. And that was my goal. Parents are only really doing one thing, and that's setting themselves up for losing their job. The most important way I felt I could prepare my children was to give them a solid foundation in Jesus. My love for Jesus impacted every aspect of my life. This love contributed to my love for others, and my drive to constantly be improving myself. I always wanted to remain teachable. I was not an overly emotional person, but the emotions that I did show were genuine. I was driven and focused, and I let very little stand in my way. Church and the people that were in it were a very big part of the foundation of my life. My mom had me singing at a very young age, and music stayed with me for the rest of my life. Just ask my sister Cassie. She spent most of her life trying to get me to stop singing. I connected with Jesus the easiest through music, and the love of music overflowed to my children as well. Many an afternoon would be spent singing on the top of our lungs and dancing wildly in our kitchen. I tried my best to be a giver. Not that I ever had much, but I genuinely enjoyed giving what I could. I was definitely the I love my own kids but nobody else's type of a mom. But my actions, people could tell that I was a big softie. Selective, of course. I delighted in making others happy, and I invested a lot of time learning how to make those closest to me happy. I will always be a mother, and a small piece of me will always live on through my beautiful ladies, as I like to call them. My infectious love for adventure and my dry sense of humor will live on through all of us here in this room. Pretty sure half of you are talking in your best Kevin Hart voice right now. And it's my love for Christ that will allow me to live on forever in heaven. FYI, it's pretty sweet here. Martin Luther King said, "If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, keep moving forward. I'm flying now. Until we meet again."